Okay, we're on the camera. Excellent. Excellent. Now, your am I on?
Yeah.
I'll be right back. All right, I have all of your stuff now. You have all your homework for chapter 7 and 8 are listed on Edmodo on a I put on Edmodo a grade sheet update, and the grade sheet update contains all of the assignments, tests, quizzes, homework, etc. up to chapter 6, which you took just before the break, right? So that's all there, yes? And then next to that, I put all the homework for chapter 7 and 8. Remember, this is a binary chapter. I like to use science words when I'm explaining something normal, binary. Can you imagine saying that on a train to somebody? It sounds very sophisticated, doesn't it? Use binary 5 times today, you'll impress people. Okay, excellent. So it's binary chapter, all the homework, vocabulary, everything's there. There's no quizzes, no more quizzes, because we have to get started. We have to do this. The homework is due on the 13th. That's next. The prophet's birthday, or whatever it is what is it? The birthday or birthday? Yeah, birthday of Muhammad is the 12th. Then the 13th is an odd day. You have chemistry. Your assignments are due, and then let's see. And then assignments are due on the 13th. And then the tests for 7 and 8 are on the 15th. It'll be 40 questions. It's going to be simple. I don't want to go crazy with this stuff because your final exam is going to be on, write this down, is going to be on day 5 on January 27th. And EF, are you EF or CD? Your CD? CD is, I think, 4th block on that day. And EF is first block. So I think your fourth block. Your fourth block, day 5, the 27th of January. It's going to be chapters, what did we do anyway? 3? We started with 3? Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's your final. Okay? Yes?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And over here, look over here. Look over here. It says, when you are, you can take a A4, they call it, 8.5 by 11 A4. You can take an A4, it's required to take one A4 in with you. Whatever you want to write, it has to be handwritten, can't be digitized with a computer. You don't use like one font, come in with a magnifying glass. You have to use your own handwriting. It has to be color coordinated, it has to be readable. The grade will be based on the amount of content that's in it, the type of content that's in it, the organization, and the readability. Understood? That's for credit. Both sides. That's all you can bring. I give nothing. Well, no, I give a periodic table, and I give polyatomic ion sheet. Okay, but that's it. Everything else is up to you. Clear? You have to determine. You're old enough. This is a deadly description. This is college preparatory. So in other words, I grade you like high school students, but I treat you like college students. So it's about time you guys start to make some decisions on what is going to be important for your final exam. It's not going to be that hard. It's just going to be comprehensive. I want you to get an overview. You guys have been walking up to trees and staring and looking at the bark. Now we're going to get into a helicopter, hover over the forest, and look at what it looks like altogether. Understood? That's what a final exam is. The final exam should be, are you ready for this? You ready? Should be the easiest assessment all year. You can't worry about some difficult test. You won't get the point. The point of a final exam is to make connections that you hadn't had time to make during the year. Clear? You understand? So make sure that you keep that in mind when you're studying. Don't go crazy, but you got to make connections. The more connections you make. I also have a assignment which will be a completely comprehensive assignment to help you review. Clear? Okay. Enough said. You can take a second A4 in with you. That's for extra credit. Clear? First one is credit, second one is extra credit. Bring a calculator, don't think you'll need one, do you? Do you need one? I don't think you'll need a calculator. Number two pencils, calculator, extra credit. Okay. Now, this is what we're going to do today. Let's get to the lab. On your iPad, there are things in Edmodo. And I put up last night for you to read, I put up the lab you're doing today. Now, I gave you a handout only because I kind of gave you my backup plan and my A plan and my B plan in case the laptop, the iPads weren't working. And I gave you at least one hard copy of everything. But in Edmodo, you have that updated grade sheet. You have the lesson plan with the objectives, what you have to learn, the questions you have to answer. Everything's guided. That's also on the Edmodo, and you have the entire lab. Okay, clear? This is the point of the lab. All right, let's do a problem. Okay, let's do a problem. And this problem will model the lab. You ready? Okay. You have a formula, H2O. Clear? You have a formula, H2O. And we're going to do this lab for H2O. Clear? Okay. So this is what you're given. You're given 20 problems. I don't expect you to do it all today. I expect you to do at least 5 of the problems today. And then you finish this for homework. Clear? And that's turned in with your assignment for the chapter. So you have H2O, right? What is H2O? What's H2O2?
Hydrogen peroxide.
Hydrogen peroxide. What's H2O for? What's H2O for? Washing your hands. Sorry, I know it's a water joke. I tell it every year. Okay, so I'm going to, what's going to be the central atom? Oxygen. Okay? A lot of times that's just a guess. Okay? That's the central atom, right? Now take out your experiment sheet right now and open it up to page 3. Page 4. Yeah, there we are. Page 4. That's it. Okay? Now those are the instructions that I gave you before Christmas, before the break, right? Isn't it? Aren't they? Okay? So let's look at those. What's the first thing you do? You're given the formula, and then what?
Determine the most likely arrangement of the atoms.
Okay, we did that. HOH. Excellent. Excellent. What else?
Total valence.
All right, so what's the total valence here? 1, 1, 6. Hydrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, 8. So, and then what's the next thing to do?
Subtract off the total number of bonded electrons.
And how many of those?
4.
4. Excellent. You guys are good. And what's left over?
Complete the valence of the outer.
All right. We got to complete the valence of the outer. Is the valence of the outer correct? Yeah. Okay, good. Now, I hope this visitor is not a chemistry guy because I'm going to say something very controversial. The book says that there's an exception to the octet rule. Clear? Where hydrogen only has 2, right? And all the other ones have 8. Like if the outers were like fluorine or chlorine, you would put 6. So you have 2 and 6 is 8, right? And then they say, don't they say that in the book? Well, there is no such thing as the octet rule. The octet rule was made up on a rainy day by some guy in New Jersey who was bored and wanted to make something up. So he came up with something called the octet rule. But what's the more logical answer to this? It wants to be like the nearest noble gas. So what's the nearest noble gas to hydrogen?
Helium.
Helium. What's the valence of helium?
2.
2. So is there an exception? No. Right? You get it? There's no exception. That doesn't work. You know, -5 for Gryffindor. If you say octet rule in here, you got it? It's not going to happen. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah? Right? Is that good? Okay. So, is the valence complete for the hydrogen? Yeah, the last class, the other period, EF, they had a hard time with that. And I said, wait a second, guys. You guys are reading this textbook too much. You know, this isn't Gone with the Wind here where you have to understand every sentence. Okay, we don't talk about the octet rule. We don't mention that. It doesn't exist. Clear? Okay. Tell your mother that. See what she says. Okay? Excellent. All right, so where did we put the 4 that are left over? Around, yeah. Now you got to make sure what? You got to make sure that the central atom has, what's the rule? It's right there. We're at the end. What does it say?
The central atom is a non-metal. It must have at least 8 electrons.
Okay, if it's a non-metal, it has to have 8? Is that what it says? At least 8. Good, excellent. So if it's a non-metal, it's at least 8. Is that what it says? Okay, now, look at the oxygen on the board. What do we got? 8. Clear? Now what you do, may I have your sheet for just a moment, please? You guys are wonderful. Mr. May, you have to make up that test for Christmas, right? Right? Did you make up that test? No. Okay, you got to do that, right? Turn to page 7, this page here. Okay? Right. Now, I need something with 3 total pairs of electrons. 3 total pairs of electrons, but 2 bonds and 1 non-bonded pair. Do you see it? Do you see it? The column on the left says the column on the left is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do those numbers mean? Those mean the total pairs of electrons, bonded or unbonded. That's a total. Clear? Yes? Now, how many does this particle have? How many bonding sites? How many total pairs around it? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Clear? So what has 4 bonding sites but 2 unpaired, 2 unbonded, and 2 bonded? You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, now, what's that called? Now go back, and try to find out what is that called? Does anybody remember? It's right there. 3rd page. What does it say? Right there, you're looking right at it. Look at the chart on the left. Yes? Yeah, that's right, it's bent. It's called bent or angular. Bent or angular. Bent's just easy to remember. Okay? So if you have 4 bonding sites, 2 bonded and 2 unbonded, that's bent. So it looks like this. What's this angle? Does anybody know from the reading? That's a little bit trivial to remember, I guess, but does anybody know what that is? Yeah?
105 degrees.
What is it?
105.
Very close. And I know why you said 105. I would probably have said the same thing, you know that? Yeah. It's 109.5. Okay? Yes? Yes? Okay. I don't want to take up any more time. I want to get started, okay? Was that a good intro? Excellent. Was that all right? Okay. So, in front of you, you have all the materials you need. You want to make at least 5, you want to make a model out of clay and then a model out of gumdrops and gummy bears. But be careful, you got to keep your hands clean, you got to wash your hands, and go in the back. Okay, we have this, everything is sterile. My lab tech had gloves on when she organized everything. I made sure that everything was sealed when I got it yesterday. Okay, understand? It's all, you don't have to eat it. Okay, but it's just, minus 3 points if you eat it before you show me the model. Every model you do, you have to show me in the back. All the instructions are in the sheet. Clear? So you have to come back to my desk, and I have to check your structure. So you have to make the structure. You have to say, this is water. See? So you have a piece of clay, a toothpick. You don't have to represent these atoms with things. You can just say, you can just use the toothpick like I did before Christmas. May I? May I? So you just have, let's say we have a piece of clay. Let's say this is a piece of clay. I don't want to waste a piece. And all you need to do is put the toothpicks in it. And that's That's water. See how it's bent? Yes? Now, the gummy bears are the unbonded electrons. Clear? You've got to put those in. Understood? The gummy bears are the unbonded electrons. The gumdrops are the central atoms. Clear? You got that? Are we ready? Yes? Now, you got a lot of work to do, guys. You got to read. You got to work with your partner. A little collaboration. Okay? How you doing with the? You all right with the language thing going on here? Everything all right? You all right? Make sure you go over it with them. Okay? Yes? Yeah. God bless the UAE, man. I'm telling you, you got to do it. Yeah? You with me? All right. So, do we have any questions? We have until 11:15, so we have a solid hour. Yes? When I taught this for the last 35 years, I would have half an hour intro and then an hour you do the work. So I'm right on schedule. I did this at a state conference in the States. I showed it. It's called the Gumdrop Lab. We did it a little differently. And I also did it at the national conference. I saw Bill Nye. Yeah, he was in my conference. He came to see it. So it's a pretty cool lab. Okay? A little modified from what I did, but it's pretty cool. All right? So are we ready? Go.